Hey guys, it's Mikey Chen. Before we get to today's video, I just want to mention that if you love food, definitely check out my food channel. You can click the banner here or the link is in the description box below. If you like the channel, please subscribe. That would be awesome. So there has been this love affair with zombies and vampires going on everywhere for a while now. And overall, the depiction of zombies and vampires are pretty much the same. Zombies are usually mindless, rotting dead people strolling around in constant search for human flesh or brains. I'm still not quite sure why zombies need to eat, and where does it all go after they eat it? Do zombies poo? And usually vampires are all blood-sucking hotties that either burn up or get all glittery when they're in the sun. So today we're going to be talking about vampires and zombies, but we're going to be talking about vampires and zombies in China. And also, I'm going to teach you guys how to defeat them, if you ever run into one. In China, zombies and vampires are both referred to as Juncture, and stories of Juncture have been floating around China since the Ming Dynasty around the 15th century. Juncture literally translates to stiff corpse. Supposedly, they are so stiff that they travel by holding their arms out in front of them and can only hop around. They are extremely strong and live off the blood or life essence of humans and animals. The most popular Chinese legend says Juncture were created by Taoist priests as a cheap way to transport corpse. The practice called Xiangxi, which means driving corpse in Xiangxi, is a very popular legend in China. The legend tells of relatives of a person who may have died far away from home, and that the relatives could not afford to have the deceased person's body transported back home for burial. So they would hire a Taoist priest to conduct a ritual to reanimate the dead person's body and have the body hop their way home. The Taoist priest will make the Juncture hop by sticking an incantation on each Juncture's forehead. The priest would transport the corpses only at night and would ring bells to notify others in the vicinity of their presence because it was considered bad luck for a living person to set eyes upon a Juncture. It was called Xiangxi because Xiangxi was a city in Hunan province, China, where a lot of people traveled far away for work, and after they died, their bodies were transported by Taoist priests back to their hometown because it was believed that their souls could not rest if they were buried somewhere they were not familiar with. There are also other legends that say there are 18 different types of Juncture, and they can be split into 6 different categories based on how dangerous they are. So we're going to break down these categories from weakest to strongest. The first category of Juncture are called white hair Juncture. These are the weakest of all Juncture. They are called white hair Juncture because they are covered with thin little white hairs. These Juncture are extremely slow and are basically afraid of everything, especially sunlight, fire, water, chickens, dogs, and people. So these Juncture are completely harmless to humans until they start feeding. After white hair Juncture consistently feed on cows and sheep for many years, the white hairs on their body turns to black, and they will no longer be afraid of chickens and dogs, but are still afraid of the sun and fire. They will not directly confront a human being, but will start attacking human beings at night when they're asleep and start sucking their blood. Many villagers in China have reported random attacks on their animals by blood-sucking creatures, and often those same villagers believe it to be the work of black-hair Juncture. As the black-hair Juncture grows more powerful, they turn into the third category, jumping Juncture. After sucking on blood for a few decades, the hair on the black Juncture falls off, and they start hopping around, but they can now hop far and very quickly. At this stage, they are no longer afraid of sunlight, animals, or people. Dogs are extremely scared of jumping Juncture and stay abnormally quiet when they are near, but cats act fierce and hiss at them. When the jumping Juncture becomes more powerful, they turn into flying Juncture. Flying Juncture move with blazing speed and can climb trees and tall structures in a flash. They now feast on the life essence of people or animals, and able to do so without leaving a mark. So basically, they are now ninja vampires. After hundreds of years of draining life essence, flying Juncture turns into a demon-like creature called the Ba. These creatures are also called Hanba or Drought Ba. These things look very frightening. They have the power to shapeshift and cause droughts and plagues wherever they go. In ancient China, when a plague is accompanied by a drought, people believe that the Ba is responsible. After thousands or tens of thousands of years, the Ba makes its final transformation into the Demon King. And in this stage, they have almost limitless powers until they run into Sun Goku. Because, you know, Piccolo was a Demon King. Anyway, it is wise to deal with a Juncture before it becomes too powerful. And in case you do run into a Juncture, or if a Chinese Juncture apocalypse ever happens, I've got you covered. Because you are looking at a Juncture attack survivor. Let me tell you what happened. One day, I was viciously attacked right here in this studio by one of my best friends. And remember guys, anyone around you could be a Juncture, and you're just gonna have to be ready to take them out. So here's what happened to me. Oh, by the way, you got something on your face, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me show you.
Is it
Take
a zit?
Yeah, take a look. Dan?
You have discovered my secret! Mike Chen, you have eaten your last steak!
Although that didn't look too good for me, luckily I remembered my Juncture slaying training and came out of that situation completely unharmed. But sadly, I had to kill my buddy and eat his brains. Okay, that's gross. I didn't actually eat his brains. Anyway, so now I'm gonna teach you how to defeat a Juncture. In the book 荆楚税时记, which documents various customs and traditions, it mentions that peach is the essence of the 5 elements. It can subjugate evil auras and deter evil spirits. So all you have to do is go get a peach wood sword, which you can actually buy on eBay. I also wonder if you could just like eat a peach and then, you know, spit the pit at the Juncture, which if you think about it, is basically live action Plants vs. Zombies. You can also get a rooster to combat Juncture. In the book that documents true supernatural stories, 子不语, or what Confucius did not speak of, the author Yuan Mei wrote that evil spirits, including Juncture, withdraw when they hear a rooster's call because it signals that daylight is near and Juncture is scared of sunlight. So, you know, get a pet rooster. But my only problem with that is roosters poo like everywhere. And I like eating chicken a lot, so I don't really want to be in a situation where I bring home KFC and then have to eat it in front of my pet rooster. You know, that's just awkward. Probably the easiest way to defeat a Juncture is just to set them on fire. Again, according to the book 子不语, the crackling flames will burn the Juncture to its very bones. Another useful instrument to have when fighting Juncture is the Bagua. The Bagua, meaning 8 symbols, are 8 trigrams used in Taoist cosmology to represent the fundamental principles of reality. Because many believe that Juncture were created by Taoist Incantations, the 8 symbols Bagua became an obvious deterrent for Juncture. You know, you can also use some books to fight against Juncture. The I Ching, also known as the Classic of Changes or Book of Changes, is one of the oldest of Chinese classic texts. The origins of Bagua and other fundamental Taoist principles are all said to have originated from the book I Ching, making this book something all Juncture fear. Now, I don't know if the ebook version would work just as well as the book itself, so I would really appreciate it if the next time you see a Juncture, you know, download the book onto your iPad or phone and just throw it at the Juncture and let me know how it goes. Next, Taoist Incantations are probably the method used most in movies against Juncture because Taoist priests were like ancient ghostbusters. Many of them exorcise evil spirits and battle Juncture for a living. Some of the most powerful tools in their arsenal are paper incantations, which can stop a Juncture in its track. You can also fight Juncture with thread stained with black ink, sticky rice, and mirrors because when Juncture looks into a mirror, they detest their own reflections and are harmed by the spiritual nature of reflective glass. Other ways to defeat Juncture include the blood of a black dog, sword made from ancient coins, handbells, brooms, and also there's some who believe that if you drop a bunch of coins right in front of a Juncture, it will stop everything in its track and start to, you know, just bend down and count them. Now, I don't know if there's something spiritual to the whole coin thing or if all Junctures are just really cheap. And finally, if you don't have any tools on you, here's what you can do. Hold your breath. It is believed that if you hold your breath, the Juncture will not be able to see or find you. That kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park when they avoid the T-Rex by standing really still and not moving and the T-Rex can't see them. So if you think about it, Juncture is kind of like a T-Rex. So there you go, guys. There's some information about Juncture and how to defeat them. So the next time you run into a Juncture, just stay calm, think back on this video, and you should be okay. Also, go get a rooster. And finally, if you are super cheap and you are being chased by a Juncture, so you throw the coins down and the Juncture is starting to count the coins, don't try to get the coins back. Just, you know, let it go. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you later.